Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? So let's talk some middleweight boxing right now, all right? So I'm on fightnews.com and I seen something that really caught my attention. It's a hometown fighter. I believe the last time I checked, he is training with Errol Spence trainer Derek James. I believe they're still training. I know last time I checked, he goes down to Dallas, Texas, and spends about 8 weeks down there before he that's where he does his training camps at, down there in Dallas. So the last time I checked, I believe he is still with Derek James. Now, he's a hometown kid from here in the Twin Cities. Summer 2010, when I believe it was his last year as being an amateur. I forgot. But I know around 2010, he was the #1 rated light heavyweight in the country. You can look it up. You can Google all of this. You put his name in Google search. To do it has won a plethora of national championships. He was the #1 light heavyweight in the country for a few years. Won Golden Gloves, U.S. Nationals. I mean, he was racking up victories, man, left and right. And I got an opportunity to spar with this young man, and I'm a lot bigger than he is. I'm 6'5", 240 pounds. And he was actually the second guy I've ever sparred, man. And some people thought it was suicide for a complete novice, only been boxing for 2 months, to get in there and spar this kid at the time. But it was good work. You know, he busted my nose up. But I went the full 4 rounds with him, and I'm pulling for him, man. So I am being very biased when it comes to Robert Brant. All right, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to try to act like I'm not being biased. I'm being very biased. I'd like to see him get his shot. Now, this article is on Fight News. I'm going to leave it in the description box. But Robert Brant eyes Billy Joe Saunders on Canelo versus Liam Smith pay-per-view. I also think on that pay-per-view, they're going to have Luis Ortiz versus Ustinov. So I think that'd be great. But before I go ahead and read what he had to say about trying to face Billy Joe Saunders, before I say that, before you guys say, who the hell is this guy? Or, yeah, you know, well, I'm going to tell you who he is. Now, you guys always tell me that rankings mean something, right? When people, they say rankings don't mean something, and they say they do mean something. So, according to the rankings by the WBA, he is the rated #5 middleweight, according to the WBA. Okay, the WBO, the sanctioning body that Saunders has a title at, he is rated #9. Okay, so he isn't just some guy I'm just, pulling out of the woodworks because we're from the same hometown. We live in the same, hometown. So he is rated by some sanctioning bodies. All right. So that is fact. OK. Now, he went on to say, I have the utmost respect for Billy Joe Saunders as an athlete, said Brant. I respect him so much that I would really enjoy giving him a grand welcome to the United States in the middle of the squared circle. All right. And then his promoter went on to say, Rob Brant is perfect choice for Saunders in that fight, said Greg Cohen of Greg Cohen Promotions. He's red hot right now. He's undefeated and makes for exciting fights, and he's got a fan following from his television appearance. Saunders versus Brant makes a great sense for boxing fans and from a business perspective, okay? And Cohen says he's hoping to hear from Saunders' representative soon. And I'm reading some comments under the article by fans. People are saying, who the hell is this guy? He's a nobody. He has no power. Some dude said the last opponent he fought, what'd he say, had 12 losses, fight somebody with a pulse. He's rated, man, and he was an excellent amateur. If you don't believe me, type his name up in Google and look at his amateur history. There's so many damn awards he's won, and he's undefeated as a pro right now. And he has amateur, international experience. I remember him around that time that I was in that gym at the Circle of Discipline gym, and I was training with a guy named Derek Winston. So for those you think, oh, you're lying, you never sparred this guy. No, I was training with a guy named Derek Winston when I was messing around with boxing. I was 29 years old at the time, hadn't quite yet turned 30, but it was 2010, and I sparred Rob, man. He has some heavy damn hands. He was just a kid. When I got in there with him, I'm like, man, this kid ain't gonna do nothing to me. I'm way bigger than him, and boxing's a lot easier from the outside looking in, but I got a lot of respect for him, man, just from that opportunity that we shared, or the opportunity I had to share with him those 4 rounds in the ring. And he probably doesn't even remember this. He sparred so many damn rounds, but I do remember that, so I'm pulling for the kid, man. There's not too many hometown fighters from here in the Twin Cities that get a good following, and you can pull for. You know, back in the 80s and early 80s, you had guys like Scott Ledoux, and then you had Vanda, who was coming up in the early 2000s, Matt Vanda, and then you had right now you got Jamal James, who's a up and comer. I think he's like 19-0 right now. Javante Starks, I believe he's like 15-1. Another guy that I sparred in 2010. You know, so I want to see these guys do great, man. I really do. You know, so if he believes he deserves a shot right now, he's young, he's strong, he's talented, he's been getting good sparring, good training in. Get a kid his shot, man. You know, especially if you're looking for an opponent, get a kid his shot. You know, I love to see the fight. Now, there are some other fans say, nope, put him in there with Kurtzizi. I think that'd be a damn good fight. I'm not going to lie to you. As much as I like Rob, I wouldn't mind seeing Saunders versus Kurtzizi, especially from that last fight I seen Kurtzizi, or the fight that I saw that he beat another undefeated prospect at the time. What was that kid's name, man? I forgot the kid's name that he fought. Antoine Douglas. That was a kid's name. But if you ask me, man, I think Rob might be better than Douglas. You know, I think that's debatable, man. I think it's debatable that he might be better than Douglas or better than Dominic Wade. Now, again, I'm being biased, but I think if you put him in the ring with those guys, he has a pretty decent shot at beating those guys, too. And I think he has a pretty good shot at beating Billy Joe Saunders. I really do. You know, so I guess we'll see what Saunders and his crew is going to do. If they don't pick Rob, it wouldn't surprise me. You know what I mean? With me just being a hometown fan, and I'm being biased, again, I'm being biased. I'm telling you right now, I am. But I like to see, you know, kid from the Twin Cities get an opportunity to show and prove what he got, man. I'm just getting this out there. I usually don't cover much middleweight news, but I seen Rob was in the news, and he's coming out and he's voicing his opinion, man. And I like that. You got to be your own self-promoter, man, sometimes, because if you just sit back in the wing, even if you're 1,000-0, if you just sit back and don't say anything, nobody's really going to take notice, you know, unless they're forced to take notice and you're the #1 contender at every damn sanctioned body or something like that. But I like what I see, man. Hopefully Rob gets a shot. You guys let me know what you think. I know some of you are going to think he doesn't deserve the title shot. But, hey, I'm being biased on this. I want to see the hometown kid get the shot. Plus, I shared the ring with him. He was the second guy I ever sparred when I was dabbling around in boxing. So I'd love to see him get a shot, man, and bring a title back to the Twin Cities. I'm out.